Greetings again, friends. Well, today I want to take a brief break from the prophecy series. Now, pay attention because the next video is going to deal with that second half of the tribulation period, the Great Tribulation. And that deals with the bowl judgments. And there's a lot happening there. And as I said, it's getting progressively worse. But bad things happen in the world all the time. And I was just reminded again of what had happened in Rwanda, and was just recently watching these videos of a history of that and the genocide that took place there with 800,000 people being killed. I mean, it's just incredible what kind of things happen in the world with these tragedies and things that happen, and the shootings that happen in this country all the time. And if you focus on that, you can just be burdened all the time. Why are there these continual shootings and tragedies and things that happen? I mean, the shootings even this year, and you have shootings in grocery stores, and shootings in theaters and churches and out in the open, and in academic institutions. You have shootings in schools, and it just could make people be really afraid. Now, the answer, friend, is not to kill the Second Amendment. Because as you've heard, I'm sure, guns don't kill people, people kill people. And a person who wants to kill can use any kind of weapon, a knife or anything, and we can't outlaw anything that could kill, because that's crazy. You couldn't do anything. So there's things that can be done to help keep criminals from having guns and stuff, but I'm not talking about that today. I'm talking about something that came from a terrible tragedy that happened that impacted my own life. And this tragedy is still, in America, the worst U.S. shooting massacre that took place on an academic campus. There were 33 people killed on April the 16th in 2007. And I was there. I was on that campus. I was supposed to be on the campus the day that happened, and God kept me from all of the things that happened on that campus. And you'd have to read the book to get into more of the background there. But a lot of things changed my life from that shooting, and it turned my life upside down. And I began to be caught up in the overreactions that often happen after tragedies, and the uncertainties and the governmental control, or the authorities trying to control. And I got caught up in that and got involuntarily committed and got labeled to be psychotic because of what I believe about the Bible. And it impacted my life tremendously and took away my relationship with my family, and it just took away everything from me. And I learned a lot with what God put me through. And it's written in this book. And of course, you're welcome to get a copy of this. You could contact me to get a signed copy, or just find it online and get a copy of it. But when I went through these things, I had poems that God produced through the pressure that He put on me. Just like God produces a lot of good through bad things. He teaches us, because we don't grow when we're not doing anything, and when we don't suffer, or we don't learn like we should. So through suffering, God often, in His ways, teaches us and causes us to learn, and causes things ultimately to be better. Well, He's caused me to be to have more faith in Him, to be a better minister, to produce the things that I have with the book and what I'm doing through these videos even now, and even the poems that I've written when I wasn't a poet. And one of the poems I wrote on the 1-year anniversary of 4/16/07. And as I've mentioned before in some of the videos when talking about the poems, I had gone to the Virginia Tech campus. And I was really thinking about learning to prevail, and how the campus really wasn't teaching people how to learn to prevail. And while I've talked about a lot of these videos, I wanted to read this about these poems in different videos. I wanted to read this today just to be able to commemorate that when I was there. And like I said, there weren't even any crosses that were in that chapel on Virginia Tech campus. When there should have been. You could look at the power of the cross when I referenced that. But I talked about my day at Virginia Tech and wrote that poem. And the poem is called Learn to Prevail, from 32 to 33. And the reason I entitled it that is because I heard people on the campus saying, "We will prevail, we will prevail." And yet they weren't saying how. They were just making a statement like it was going to happen. And it's not going to happen if you don't deal with why something like a terrible shooting happened. And so I began to think about, well, how could this have happened? How could we learn from this to be able to not let it happen again? I don't want to see people killed in shootings. I don't want to see these bad things happen, but it's going to keep happening if we don't pay attention and understand why these things happen. And so I thought about that, and God gave me this poem. And I hope that this will be a challenge and an encouragement even to you as you think about this. This was written April 16th, 2008. Learn to Prevail, 32 to 33. What can we learn from that most tragic day? The 32 who were slain would have something to say. Would they want us to sorrow, be depressed, whine, or wail? No, they would want us to live to our fullest and prevail. And these 32 slain would now want us to see the final number who died there that day, 33. For each life is a soul our Creator has made, and our memories of them will not die, only fade. We must seek to be honest with the facts of the past, if we hope to prevail and learn lessons that last. Sung Hui Cho was a soul that was troubled for sure, thinking thoughts that were evil, selfish thoughts, thoughts not pure. He could not find the peace that we all seek to find. He instead found deep turmoil, thinking thoughts that did blind. 32 victims that day would now have us to know that we dare not forget that poor soul, Sung Hui Cho. They would have us prevail, find true peace, use our eyes. They would have us see Jesus, who was killed but did rise. Fix your eyes on this Jesus. Find forgiveness from sins. Learn to help troubled souls. Love and serve all men. And that was written again April 16, 2008. And dedicated to my Lord and inspired by my VT community and my day on campus. And while I've mentioned poems before, and even this one before, I thought that this would be appropriate to read and go over again today for this video as we come upon that 14th anniversary of that Virginia Tech shooting that happened 4/16/07. Just like the shooting that occurred there, have occurred in lots of places, but like I was mentioning at the beginning, the genocide that occurred in Rwanda around this time from April to June in 1994. So friend, be encouraged, learn to prevail. Learn the things that I talk about in my book. I give 10 lessons, the top 10 that you should learn, that I will go over in more detail, going through each one in future videos. But you should look at the book. Lots of lessons to learn from what God taught me, and I hope that He will be teaching you, or rather that you will be learning, because He does test and try to teach all of us. So like this video, share it with your friends, subscribe to my channel, and hit the notification bell to be ready for the next video. And as I get back into the prophecy series talking about the bowl judgments.